Hello. Cheers, you're watching The Record Hunter. Today, I'm going to talk about Slayer. Slayer is one of my favorite bands of all time, and I've been listening to them since I was in 7th grade, which we're talking 1985. So, my cousin got me into metal earlier, like probably 82, 83, and I hung out with him. And then I went off on my own to try to find heavier stuff after I was done hanging out with him. And Slayer is one of the first bands outside of Metallica and Venom. And I'm going to show you my record collection and talk about some stories and some of the concerts I went to back in the 80s. And maybe talk a little bit about like some of the more recent Slayer shows. But the band I've seen more than any other band is Slayer. I've seen them 29 times, and I decided to make this video because I saw that they're playing Riot Fest. And I'm from Chicago, and that's a huge deal that they reunited to play Riot Fest and a couple, as of this point, 2 shows in the Midwest. So let me show you my records. So this is Show No Mercy, 1984. Right now that they re-released Show No Mercy with like a special edition box set. I think it's like on a silver disc, and it comes with the flyers and a bunch of goodies. And I'd say like probably like this is a great album. I didn't pick this one up till I was in high school, till I was a freshman in high school. But this is a first press though. I picked it up at Cruising Music. And the songs on here that I really like a lot was like Evil Has No Boundaries, The Antichrist, Die by the Sword, Fight Till Death, Black Magic, Tormentor, Final Command, Show No Mercy. This came out in 1984. Like I said, they're celebrating their 40th anniversary of this now. The first record I ever bought by Slayer was Haunting the Chapel. And it's an EP. It was like, I went to Cruising Music, and they had it for $3.50. And so I said, I'm going to check it out, because that's, I check out bands, because the record was cheap enough, and I was like, let me check it out, it's $3.50, and it killed. Chemical Warfare, Captor of Sin, and Haunting the Chapel. It came out in 1984, but like I said, I picked it up in 85. In 1987, when I was in, 1985, when I was in 7th grade. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so the next record I got was Hell Awaits. And this came out in 1985. Actually had a tour shirt from this, but I gave it to my my DJ partner there for the first time I saw them. My DJ partner there, Lydia Vomito, when I saw him with Venom and Exodus on Easter at the Aragon. So Hell Awaits, Kill Again, Dawn They Sleep, Praise of Death, Necrophiliac. Some great songs there. And then the next thing I picked up was this EP, the picture disc, which was pretty cool. It's the Live Undead, and it's basically 6 songs from that tour, from like the Ultimate Sin tour. And the Ultimate Sin, like I said, was Slayer, Venom, and Exodus. Necrophiliac, what he says on this for the live, this live album is pretty gross, and I used to get a kick out of it. So that's kid. So then I bought this re-release. It wasn't a picture disc, but it also had the it also added Captor of Sin, Chemical Warfare, and the first song, "Aggressive Perfector," from the Metal Massacre 2 compilation, which I should have pulled out, but I didn't. So, and now my favorite album of all time, Slayer's "Rain of Blood." This is the first press. I cut school to get this album. Actually, I didn't get this record until the Friday. I went and bought it the Tuesday because I cut school and I bought it on cassette. And when you listen to it on your Walkman, that it would play the whole album on one side, then the whole album on the other side. So I jammed that for a few days because I didn't want my parents to know I cut school. And then on Friday, or maybe it might have been Saturday, either it was Friday or Saturday when I got my allowance, I bought this bad boy on vinyl. But I had the cassette, and I listened to the cassette for at least every day for at least a year and a half. Every single day. And then I probably listened to this album almost every single day for like about 3 or 4 years. And so the only repress I ever, I went out and bought that I have doubles of, and I went and bought the repress of Rain of Blood, because I just wanted to hear how good it would sound as a repress when they repressed these in 2013. Okay, so I bought this Criminally Insane Remix EP. That is not that great, but it has Postmortem and Aggressive Perfector, but like a new version of it. I saw that was the song from the first like demo compilation, but they re-recorded it in '87. That's actually pretty good. So next, I have South of Heaven, 1988. And the, should I talk? I should probably mention some of these songs off Rain of Blood, right? Before I jump ahead. Even though, do I have to? I meant they're iconic songs, and every song on this album is great. So you're looking at Angel of Death, Piece by Piece, Necromantic, Altars of Sacrifice, Jesus Saves, Criminally Insane, Reborn, Epidemic, Postmortem, and Rain of Blood. Just a classic. Had to go back there for a second. So, and let me talk about the show there. So when Slayer played at the Aragon Ballroom, back in '87 for the Rain of Blood tour, they played with Wasp and Raven. And it was just total chaos. They're throwing chairs all over the place. My cousin, he got his head broken open with one of the chairs. A bouncer actually hit him in the dirt. He was trying to save the chairs because they were stomping on him, destroying them. Pits all crazy, and yeah, he got cracked in the head. And then he was a trooper, so instead of him going home, once he got his head cracked open or went into the hospital, he took his shirt off and he put it on his head while he's bleeding. He watched all of Slayer before he left. He didn't stick around for Wasp. And he got a bunch of stitches in his head. Thought I'd mention that. But the Brawl Room days ain't over, because there were some pretty rough Brawl Room days still to come. South of Heaven. 1988. So I went to 2 of these shows for the South of Heaven show in 1988 and 1989. So the songs off this album that are great is South of Heaven, Silent Scream, Live Undead, Behind the Crooked Cross, Mandatory Suicide, Ghosts of War, killer album. So the first time I seen him on this tour was in '88, and who played that? That would be Danzig open, which was cool because Danzig was playing like, he had a nice pit in the back, and he was playing like Danzig, like some of the new Danzig songs from his first album, and some Sam Hain songs. I don't think he did a bunch. He did like Mother of Mercy, and then he did like a couple of Misfit songs. So it was a nice little pit. But then after Danzig played, Trouble came out, and hey, I love those guys. Eric Wagner, R.I.P. Ron and my buddies. But back then, they played, and Barry Stern from E Trope was playing drums for them. I'm just gonna tell you the story. I love all these bands, but something bad happened. So, if you were a band opening for Slayer from basically, I don't know, from Rain and Blood, Rain and Blood on, people would chant Slayer through your whole set. They'd be Slayer, you're trying to play, and you're like Slayer, Slayer. So during all of Trouble, they're chanting Slayer, and then right at the end of the set, Barry Stern gets out behind the drums and says, "F you guys, we were thrashing before when you guys were still in diapers." So my old drummer, Trinidad, I'm in a band called Spare Change. My old drummer, Trinidad, looked at these, they used to sell these buckets of beer. They're like white little buckets. They stopped selling bottles and cans because of all the chaos. So they sell these buckets of beer. And he looked at it and he threw it on the stage and hit Barry Stern right in the chest. And the next thing you know, the whole crowd just started throwing buckets of beer at the stage and booing and chanting Slayer until Trouble went off. I always felt bad about that, but like, that is a Slayer story. That is what you would get when you, back in the days, if you opened for Slayer, expect to be chanted Slayer through your whole set. Only one band I didn't see that happen to during all the 80s, during all the Aragon shows. And that would be the next show. So I went to go see 1989. I went to go see Slayer at, still on this South of Heaven tour. While I'm talking, I show you this promo thing that the record store I used to go to, Cruise Music, always gave me. So during the South of Heaven tour 1989 at the Aragon Brawl Room, Overkill goes on, which Overkill is a killer band. But not to Slayer fans, not in 1989. They chanted Slayer through their whole set. And then after, Motorhead went on. And they started to do that a little bit, but then people shut the fuck up because it was Motorhead. And Motorhead killed. And actually, that's the first time I ever seen Motorhead not play Ace of Spades, or I don't remember them playing Ace of Spades. And they closed with Iron Fist, which was really cool. I have another one of these promos, which I'm going to get to, is, I feel bad about this, is out of my collection that when I was younger, I moved on to CDs from this point, and I bought Seasons in the Abyss on cassette and on CD, and also that live thing I got, a friend gave me actually, the live, Decade, I can't remember what it's called, Decade of Aggression, friend gave to me. So, hey, if anybody wants to trade one of these promo, one of these 1988 promo flyer things, I would totally trade it for a reissue of Seasons in the Abyss. But honestly, I just need to go buy a copy. it's taken me a while, but I need to pick that up. That's one of the things I need to pick up in my collection. But what I do have is I have a first issue of Divine Intervention. This album's pretty good. Dave Lombardo is no longer in the band, so like it was not my favorite, but it's a good album. But what I did like with the next thing they came out with is this compilation. It's a punk compilation. It was a 10-inch. See, I'm brain farted there. Called Undisputed Attitude. I was trying to show you. I knew it was on one down here somewhere. And this is the first press. I have number 88 of 2000. This has songs by TSOL, DI, DRI, Dr. No, and Iggy Pop and the Stooges. The Japanese version has two more songs. It has Sick Boy by GBH and Memories of Tomorrow by Suicidal Tendencies. I'd love to get my hands on a Japanese version of that. And here is the 7-inch of Abolish Government. And the first side Slayer, and the second side is TSOL. Okay, here's something interesting. Here's Slayer's God Hates Us All. Let me see if it has the original cover in here. I don't know if it does. I had it on CD and I had a different album cover that was Ban. Yeah, this is what the original album cover looked like. And this is God Hates Us All. It came out on Tuesday, 9/11/2021. Which is kind of crazy. And the songs I really like off this album is Darkness of Christ, Disciple, Exile, and Payback. Killer songs. The next record that came out was or maybe actually as the album came out before that, was Diablos in Musica. I never liked that album. I don't own that on vinyl. I probably will get it at some point because I'm kind of a completist, but it's probably going to be the last record I buy. And the next record, which I should have bought, was Christ Illusion, which I do not own on vinyl. But what I do have is I do have World Painted Blood, first press. Songs I like off this record is World Painted Blood, Hate Worldwide, Public Display of Dismemberment, and Psychotic Red. This came out in, I think, 2009. And I remember when I heard this album, United 731, that's and Snuff. Those are good songs too. When I heard this record, I had a little bit of a little bit of a downfall in my life, and this picked me up a lot when I heard this, and I was like, oh man, they sound like Slayer again, you know, like they're killing it on this record. And the last LP that I have by Slayer is Repentless from 2016. Delusions of Savior, Repentless, Take Control, Vices. They're all good songs, but like it don't stick with you. I think this record here is like it's like they're trying to go back to old Slayer, but I don't know, none of the songs really stuck with me. Like, whereas at least some of the songs on all the other albums did stick with me, even though there's some songs I didn't care for. And the last record I bought was this single, because I thought it's a shaped picture disc, and I thought it looked really cool. It's not great, it's okay, and it has. Let me see if I can get it out of the plastic here, so you guys can see it a little bit better. Oh, it's going to be a task. It's going to be a task to get it out of here. Oh, that came out in 2015, and this came out in 2016. This is You Against Me, and the B-side's a live version of War Ensemble. Pretty cool. This looks really cool on the turntable. So, well, that's my Slayer record collection. Cheers. Looking forward to seeing Slayer for the 30th time at Riot Fest in 2024. And the last time I saw Slayer was at Riot Fest 2019. So, hope everybody dug this video, and have a good one, and cheers.